So if you guys remember last year sometime they did a Unreal Engine 5 tech demo on the PlayStation 5, and it was pretty great. I mean, a lot of the things that we saw. Now there were a lot of situations where people sort of looked at this and said, you know, I thought this was only going to be possible on the PlayStation 5 because now we've seen one done on the Xbox Series X. And if you go back and read what was said, they never said that. They said that particular demo, the one that they showcased, was only possible on the PlayStation 5. So anything that they would do on something else would be something that probably would be possible on PS5 because they're utilizing the full engine itself. So they released the first look at the Unreal Engine 5 as one of their goals in the next generation to achieve photorealism on par with movie and CG as well as real life and things like that. And they put it in with practical reach of development teams of all sizes through highly productive tools and their content libraries. So they introduced Lumen in the Land of Nanite, a real-time tech demo running live on the PlayStation 5. We remember it well. I think everybody was talking about it. People were kind of going crazy over this. The demo previews two of the new core technologies that will debut in Unreal Engine 5. Nanite visualized, which is the geometry side of things as well, which kind of I covered in some of the other areas as well. And Lumen, which is, I guess, their answer to the ray tracing situation, is a fully dynamic global illumination solution that immediately reacts to scene and light changes, and the system renders diffuse interflection with infinite bounces and indirect spectacular reflections. So it's like really doing like this real-time stuff, not ray tracing, but their own version of something like that, which really kind of goes to show how far things have come with it. So numerous teams technology kind of came together to enable the leap in quality and to build large scenes with the nanite geometry technology that the team made heavy use of in the tech demo, and everybody was really kind of talking about it. Unreal Engine 5, it was in preview in early 2021, but it wasn't really going to ship until the end of it or whatever. And now we sort of see that what's really kind of come from this, and they've done such a fantastic job with being able to kind of get this game out there, or these demos out there to see and get people excited. And that's what I really like about it. You know what I mean? I really like the way that they've kind of gone out there and gotten people excited. I remember being excited for this last year. I thought they did a really good job, and they showcased it, and that came at a good time because when they released that, you're like, oh, okay. I don't even think I think they did that in May of 2020. So you still had some months before we were going to see anything on the from the PlayStation 5 itself. So that gets you hyped up for the console. Now here we are a year later, and we see that they got a version of this running on Xbox Series X. How do the two compare? I think everybody's kind of talking about that. And I think one of the cool things about this is that we have kind of a direct kind of idea of what can do one can do and what the other can't. Now what's interesting is she flies on the PlayStation 5 version and doesn't on the Xbox Series X version. Now, is that something that's due to limitations or whatever? Is that like a solid-state drive thing? I don't know if we'll really know that. But Epic Games did unveil the newest version of its game engine, and they showcased what its next-gen technology will look like while also giving the first look at software running on the PlayStation 5. The demo, which Epic says is running in real time on the PlayStation 5, is very impressive. And at the heart of the Epic Games' next-gen engine are two new pieces of technology, which I mentioned earlier, Nanite and the Lumen global illumination system. The demo also showcases the fast loading of massive game worlds that it's going to be enabled by the built-in solid-state drive technology in the PlayStation 5. Obviously, a lot of people are like, "Oh, don't let she shimmies through the gap." That's not a trick to load or anything like that. This allows developers to do things really quickly, that's what I like. Look, I know game development takes time, right? I'm like the first to admit that game development does indeed take time, but at the same time, we're sort of at this weird situation where we have these things called generations, and I think that as long as we have generations, we should be able to try cut the time that it takes you know, as much as it can. You know what I mean? Like, just for me personally, I just think that we got to get these games out faster, but they've got to be better, and they can't be broken as well. You know what I mean? I think that that's one of the things that we really have to kind of showcase. So now we sort of have these things to kind of compare, and you know, it's very interesting because, you know, the demo that we saw, we get a peek at sort of the existing Unreal Engine technologies and things like that, and I thought that that was really something that was cool and looked fantastic. And then we kind of look at kind of what's going on with the Xbox Series X version, and you know, we now know that the demo is like available for early access and demo and things like that, and they're showing how groundbreaking tools are there to sort of you know, aimed at developers to get them to use this stuff. And we do know that Microsoft thankfully has quite a few games lined up to actually take full advantage of what they're kind of doing, which I think is great. But you also have to kind of look at things and go, okay, well, what can we look forward to in the near future? And I think that's really where we kind of see the big kind of hesitation, like, what can we expect from this? And you know, at the end of the day, I do think that we're probably can expect you know, some great looking games, but I don't think anything too you know, anything too soon. You know what I mean? Like, and what I mean by that is a lot of the Xbox games that are coming are very much coming at a much later date. You know what I mean? So I think that that's something that a lot of people are going to have to understand as we get further along. And you know, at the same time, I feel like, you know, what we've seen from the PlayStation side, and it's really hard to tell because they're different. You know, they're actually very different kind of demos, but you know, in some of the still frames that you see, it does look like the crisper image on the PlayStation 5. That's just me. I mean, look, you guys might see something completely different, which I think is fine. I think both look pretty great. I think it really just kind of comes down to you know, which one you're kind of, you know, more interested in. You know, obviously there's going to be a lot of Xbox fans that think that that it's going to be great with, you know, Gears of War, and it will be. You know, Gears of War is always a showpiece. You know, and the linearity of the game itself really makes it easier to be a showpiece. So we kind of see that, and we kind of see you know, what's going on with that, and we kind of get an idea about the idea behind what's going on with Microsoft and what's going on with Sony. And you know, and I think that it makes a lot of sense that we get this kind of technology to showcase now, because we're, you know, 6 months into the generation, and we're seeing some games realistically on the Xbox side or PlayStation side that we didn't think really possible for the longest time. So it is nice to be able to see a lot of these games on the PlayStation side. But however, on the Xbox side, everything is so far away that we haven't really had a good chance to kind of see anything that's specifically for it. And Microsoft hasn't released anything specifically for the Xbox Series X. So, you know, as fans, we have to sit there and we kind of look around and we go, oh, well, you know what? This is a weird situation, because at the end of the day, you know, there's not a whole hell of a lot that we can go on. You know, it's like, what are you going to play? Some Gears Tactics? You know, and get a feel for your $550 console. So yeah, it is a little bit of a weird situation. So when you see a demo like this, you see the possibilities, and then you kind of go, oh, well, that's probably still far away, or a little bit farther away than I would like. But it is awesome to see that, you know, we could see something of this fidelity down the road on the Xbox platform. And it really just comes down to which side, you know, you're really into. But I'm going to link the videos. In fact, I'm going to link both of these tech demos, and then you guys can let me know what you think. Hopefully everything kind of comes to fruition with what they're trying to do. You know, I think it's super impressive tech, and you know, it is very, very cool to see what the future can hold for a lot of these, you know, for console owners and stuff like that. So I do think that that's going to be something that we see sooner rather than later. I'm very, very excited for it. I think that this is really good news all around. And you know, again, if you haven't seen it, do yourselves a favor and kind of just get an idea of what's going on, because I think it's really they did a fantastic job showcasing this. You know, it's pretty awesome. So make sure you guys check it out. And if you need to catch yourself up on what's going on with the PlayStation 5 version of it, please, by all means, that link is going to be down below too. Check them out side by side or whatever. Let me know what you think, because I'm always curious to hear what everybody kind of has to say about this stuff. So with that being said, thank you so much for spending some time watching the video. Rack 'em up. This has been Crapgamer and Crapgamer Reviews, out.